there, and it just wasn't a very enjoyable cast at all. The reason for that is that I don't know really, like I just wasn't feeling it. So I took Sunday off, and then we had to move the WardiTV weeklies on Monday and Tuesday. And oh my god, did I not move the weekly? I might not have moved it. I asked someone to move it on Battlefy, but they might not have done. God damn it. Yeah, there's no WardiTV weekly right now. It should have been moved. Suave is rough. Sorry for that. Let me type in the chat. So yeah, we had to move a couple of events due to lack of signups, which is why we didn't really have a stream yesterday. So I streamed some PUBG for you guys. Just, you know, obviously isn't StarCraft, but it's something. And then, other than that, here we are. So, I'm here today, and then tomorrow I leave for WCS Leipzig. So it's not going to be kind of a ton of streams lately, but anyways, let's see how this is going to go. As we have to the bottom right-hand side from Team Liquid, our blue Protoss player is Mana, going up against the red Zerg player to the top left-hand side, Romandy Gaming's Hate Me. PvZ to get us started in Team Liquid versus Romandy Gaming, getting underway in our semi-finals of WardiTV Team League Season 7. Is anything of this current? Yes. All of these matches, I mean, these matches are being played right now. Our second series of the day is from replays, but it was played within the last week and a half or so. So yeah. It's pretty darn current. It's just some of the rosters, etc. may not make sense now because we've kind of allowed teams to keep rosters and whatever based on what was happening when this league should have finished up. Just to kind of keep the consistency and to not screw any team in particular over or anything along those lines. Alright, well. Obviously we have Hit Me up here with a whole bunch of drones. This is mine away to begin with, and this probe just sat out the front. As we are going to be seeing Mana just throwing down the Stargate, and everything pretty normal here for the first game of what is a best of 7 all-kill series. No revives, nothing like that. As we will see this Nexus being thrown down here in the natural expansion, so that's going to finish up as there's a depth starting to shade out onto the map. And we will be seeing the, again, Stargate to back this up, going into some Oracle play. I mean, Team Liquid definitely one of the favourites for this league. They were champions in Season 4, runners-up in Season 6. Romandy Gaming are the big underdogs that really are kind of coming out of the woodwork to make some magic happen. As we're going to be seeing this Adept continue to shade it on through. Again, in the other side of the bracket with Team Expert and Fantastic Four, also two pretty good teams who, well, I mean, Team Expert I think have to be the favourites with Beyond and Neeb on their roster, but Fantastic Four have Special, for example, the Laser. It's actually a real clash of the Titans, that set of matches down there, so that's going to be pretty insane, that best of 7 coming up after this. But as I said, I mean, Team Liquid have to be favourites. Romandy are underdogs that have been doing fantastically in Season 7. With the fact they've got Cyril on their roster now for, you know, as a mercenary, is really great for him. His Mana picks up the first few Zergling kills. That's really nicely done. I mean, that's a lot of Lings going down without these Adepts being picked off. That's just free damage, and for Hit Me to feel comfortable now, he has to make a few more Zerglings to make sure he will deal with those Adepts before they dive a mineral line. And if that's the case, then of course he's not able to drone up as much as he would like to, and he is in a weaker position than generally you would expect to be in at this stage of the game. Now the lair is on the way up for Hit Me in the main base. We see the Twilight Council currently dropping down as well, about 75% of the way done. Zerglings are starting to come out onto the map here as well, coming along down towards the bottom right-hand side. As these couple of gateways going to finish warping in a moment or two. There's a lot of extra gateways behind us as well. He's going up to 6 gateways, Mana. Has the Resonating Glaives coming down on the Twilight Council, and it's starting to make this look as though it's going to be a big old Adept all-in, which could work very well with the initial damage done, trading well early, and then moving in towards this sort of position where you didn't even bypass the Oracles, actually. You didn't get the Oracles out at all. He just made a Phoenix to push back Overlords and to deny scouting of the Zerg player. Now, one of the important things here is going to be kind of denying Hate Me the information and selling the idea of actually expanding towards a third Nexus, although this is a nice catch, grabbing a whole bunch of these Adepts here already just before they shade away. They will shade away just now. But again, the idea is you don't want to show too many of these Adepts because you want to make this look as though it's not going to be an aggressive all-in. You want to make this look as though, hey, I'm trying to take a third base, I'm trying to expand, please just let me expand, you know? You know, Ceilings trying to approach the front, and now the Adepts will start to move out, shading forwards. A shield battery to fill the wall. I love it because obviously that shield battery can do so much in terms of filling the wall, though it actually has to come down. Mana may not realize he didn't actually build that there, so needs to be very cautious of that, because 9-lings in the mineral line definitely could cause some things. Maybe he didn't want to build it as he starts this Adept up now. These Adepts coming through the center. So what is there up from Hate Me at Home? He went in a fairly fast lair. He's starting more of a couple of Banelings now, but he only has the Zerglings on the map as army. He really doesn't have much at all, as we're going to see these first queens going to be under heavy fire. I mean, there goes one queen, there goes two. The Hydralisk Den is down, but Hate Me doesn't really have a chance here to actually build Hydralisks, as we're going to see that drawn count is going to start disappearing. And Mana with the 6k Adepts is already doing a lot of damage. This queen pulls down to the low ground here. The Adepts continue to shade around, going all the way towards the third base here. Maybe it could have been cool to split a couple of Adepts away into the natural. Either way, I mean, it's still going very well for him. And honestly, maybe just staying stacked up together isn't too bad of an idea anyways, because, well, you know, these Lings will not trade very well if these Adepts stay together, and there just isn't enough army to really fight this here. As we're going to be seeing Mana didn't even reinforce this yet, by the way. He's been here for like a minute or so, and he hasn't even reinforced with the Adepts just yet, as we're going to see him just coming through to pick off even more workers. And now he's got even more Adepts coming across the map as well. So even when Hate Me starts to look as though he might be able to clean this up, it's just not going to be the case, as Zerglings keep on dropping. And as Zerglings keep on dropping, it looks as though Hate Me is really not going to have much more of an answer. As we're going to be seeing those Adepts continue to pull away up to the top side in towards the main base. Even more Zerglings that Hate Me coming in there and continue to shut this down. Those Adepts still chasing down those drones, and I mean, with extra Adepts coming in, right, it just keeps forcing units while Mana back at home. Third Nexus now starts a Forge and a Robo Bay just to transition out of this. Even a Warp Prism on the way up initially to maybe just keep on attacking with the Adepts would not be a terrible thing, honestly, as he cancels this shade apart from one Adept. He's going to get this Spore Crawler, which doesn't matter too much. It's not like he's got DTs or an Oracle or anything to try and come in with. Adept numbers getting a little bit low over here, as we're going to see the Banes. They do get a chance to help. We'll definitely make short work of those last few Adepts, but they get into the main base, and that's going to be at least one or two more drones. Finally, some Banes connecting as more Adepts arrive in the third base, and Mana is really kicking this off to a fantastic start here for himself in this series. I was going to see that Spore Crawler gets taken down, and a bunch more Banelings just on the way up. A few more Zerglings as well. As you're going to see this Ling Bane force of Hate Me just continuing to come on through, and the Adepts just continuing to come in as well. Colossus on the way out of the Robo facility, and we're just going to be seeing these few sentries and a couple of Zealots from Mana coming in towards the third base as well. A few more Adepts just going to shade out over to the left-hand side. Still just keeping this aggression up while going in towards now the Colossi. I mean, all said and done, he's on 45 workers against 51. It's not terrible, but he's going to take even more damage here. These army is all the way down to the south side, and these Adepts are already in the main base, and Hate Me just doesn't have enough to be in all the locations he needs to be. He wouldn't have enough before. He doesn't have enough now. These Adepts shade into the third base, so that army moves up north to deal with those Adepts, and there's just no winning out. The Adepts cancel the shades, and so the units are out of position yet again. It's another 10 workers which have gone down. And it just doesn't seem to end. There's going to be seeing the Lings coming in, grabbing that Adept, killing the main base. The rest of these Adepts continuing to work their way through this hatchery. And this is really just about going to be it now. 57 workers to the 35. Army supplies equal. I mean, okay, the game's not going to end, but Mana is even keeping these units alive while getting himself in a position to kind of play a solid macro game, which is just crazy. It's just crazy how much he's been able to do with this so far. Well, he has put himself into a fantastic position, as we are going to be seeing. We're just waiting to see, I guess, what is going to happen. Lings and Tigers coming down the south side. Going to see a few more Banes on the way up from Hate Me, and just going to be seeing these units coming over to the right. We're going to see Hydra's hitting down on a Warp Prism at the moment, which has just made it back home, but as soon as he sees this army coming across, Mana is just going to be diving once again into this mineral line where even more drones are going to start disappearing. It just doesn't stop. We're going to be seeing now some Lings and Banes and Hydras to the top side as, well, this attack would be a little bit scary, I guess, if, well, there wasn't so many force fields and if there wasn't Colossi, maybe. Right now, even these sentries are having a pretty great time. The Banes are only just starting to connect, but even the shield battery keeping those Banes up a little while longer. I mean, Mana just has the Colossus, and I think the reality is with the Colossi, eventually it's just going to be okay. Like, a few more Zealots warp in, and You know, for a moment or two, this looked kind of scary, right? But the reality is the Colossi stay alive. They will clean everything up. And back on the other side of the map, 17 drones have gone down in the mean. When do the finals take place? I will have to get back to you on that. It's not scheduled right now because this is happening live. And we have to schedule between the teams and find a date which is comfortable for both players and both teams, etc., etc., etc. To the top right-hand side from Romandy Gaming, who are down 0-1 in this best-of-7 all-kill. The green Zerg player is Mamba. Going up against the red Protoss player to the top left-hand side from Team Liquid. It's Mana. Alright, then a gateway coming down at the ramp to start things off as we get this going and underway. Do let us know who you're cheering for today. I'm not doing any fancy production today, guys. I'm trying to keep my mind a little bit clear and not boggled with production and stuff. Because I do go to Leipzig tomorrow, and I kind of like to just keep my mind, get a good night's sleep, and really be able to kill it at the WCS event. So not doing fancy production with votes and stuff or anything like that, but I would still love to hear who you are cheering on in the chat. If you are cheering on Team Liquid, if you are cheering on Romandy Gaming, if you're excited for Team Expert as well, then let me know who you're cheering on. Would love to hear your thoughts as you see this probe. Just scouting the gold base, but it is indeed just gas pool and then the hatchery from Mamba. And the hatchery is proxied, and that's something which Mana should be able to figure out here pretty quick, right? I mean, why is there not a hatchery up yet is the question. Comes back in, gonna see the gas pool. Well, I guess it was hatch gas pool as well, which is maybe what Mana is even more I mean, that's even more of a telltale sign though for Mana, right? It looks even more as though he wants to it looks even more as though he wants to kind of go in towards this you know, sort of macro play, and Mana's just like, well, where is your hatchery? He's starting to realize it now. I mean, I think he sort of realized it before, but now he's double checking it. Yes, he is going to come down here and he is going to see that hatch, and so Mana will see what's up, and I think the immediate response to this just has to be a robo facility. It kind of depends what sort of all-in it is from Mamba, but if Mana can get in and see the roach run, I think a robo facility right away is just going to be one of the most important answers you could get up here. It's kind of, I mean, there's so many ways to proxy hatch. You can proxy hatch with spines and push forwards. This is a bit far away, so it definitely is looking to be more like roaches and ravages trying to bust through. And there is that robotics facility coming down to get ready to defend this. So robotics facility already building, a stalker being chrono boosted out. Now I'll be popping into the main base in a moment or two to work its way through that overlord, and just going to be seeing, well, the roach run finishing. There is gas for quite a lot of roaches, but obviously the issue is you can only make 3 of them over here. The rest would have to build up in this main base and then walk across the map. Mana gets the scout. I wonder if we see an Evo chamber drop, just so we can see some, you can see this overlord get in position almost. So they can morph into a dropper lord and then just rally some units over so they can get towards this gold base, because that would be huge as well. Shutting down the gold base economy, because right now that's something which is helping Mana to defend this. I mean, that eco lead is going to spring up in Mana's favor. This was probably while he was transferring, because it is a long walk down to transfer in that direction. He's going to spring up in an eco lead right now with that gold base up here. Shield battery at the front. The roaches are actually going to go to the rocks at the back. Now that's really interesting. I wonder if instead his plan is going to be to get the Zerglin speed up and just go for like the roachling flood through this south side. I mean, Immortals are building a sentry coming up. Warp Gate is on the way. And we're going to be seeing now just a pylon coming in over here. And I imagine Mana will begin to wall off and will begin to set himself up in a way that just denies this aggression in this sort of position. Beyond Petroleum is screaming for Mana in the chat. Go Rogi says Yost. Go Liquid says Mr. Wayne. Some Liquid emotes coming in from Tommy as well. Cool stuff, cool stuff. Go Rogi and Mamba says Chess and Green MC is just looking forward to Expert in a little while. That's all going to be very exciting stuff, guys, as we do see those roaches and ravagers coming in. And they will pick off those rocks. As we're going to be seeing those lings, roaches, and ravagers able to move through and picking off a probe already. So a few gateways coming up towards the top side. In the main base, we're going to see those units continue to come through this direction. Just going to see this gateway to the south, and we're going to be seeing, well, the Immortal and the Stalker fighting a little bit. The shield battery takes some damage. I mean, it's a little bit scary. Mana doesn't have that many units here immediately. He's got a second shield battery on the way up. Warp Gate is done, so he can warp in, but not if he loses all of his pylons here. And that first shield battery going down, well, he just keep the pylon alive, right? And he is building another shield battery, and for now, Mamba hasn't broken through. 2 Immortals in position, and 2 Immortals are pretty good. I mean, he's got a sentry now as well. Has to be very careful with that, though. The Force will just keep a few of those units away. The shield battery very narrowly saves that sentry as Immortals getting to work on the Roaches, and that's always going to be a very powerful play because goddamn do those Immortals just chew their way through Roaches, especially with a shield battery to protect. Probes pulling in as well though, but the Ling's now streaming in, and those Probes are in a little bit of trouble. The Immortals might have to just get out of there. There's just so many Zerglings coming through here. Man just doesn't have the warp in at the moment to actually survive this. The Immortals, one of them goes down as he recalls away to the main base. I was thinking of the recall as a way to go about this, as Mana is going to be pushed down to one base. There's the warp in coming through. His gateways just weren't really ready in time. He already loses 11 probes though, which is a lot to lose, but if he can hold on one base, it's not super terrible for him. He needs a few more kind of zealots. I mean, the Immortal count is still very good as well, and that's one of the big things here for Mana. He still has a lot of tech up, and his gold base is still alive as well, by the way. It's just being ignored here at the moment by the Zerg player because he wants to come and fight the army as soon as possible. Some more Zerglings are getting through, but look at the Immortals. They're just not going down, and now there really is only Zerglings left and one single Ravager. That's not going to be enough here, and Mana's going to make the hold in the main base, and by holding in the main base, Mana is going to really give himself options now moving forward and a chance to really just keep alive in this, as you are going to be seeing this attack continuing down the left. I mean, this Nexus again being protected too, so even the one thing that looked as though it was going kind of okay here for Mamba really was not, and that force field was so very nearly there. He nearly battles himself. Oh my god, I mean, he does battle himself. He nearly battles himself to death. That would have been huge. As you see that Ravager continue to come away through the south side. Some more Lings and a Ravager coming up the left here. You're going to see the two Immortals getting ready to go again. This Queen going to come under fire once more, and we are going to see the Zealot getting to work on it too. As we do just have again this hatchery taking some damage now. Mana with the confidence of being able to push out here. And look at that force field. Says, oh yeah, you know what, you do have units, but I'm not too worried. Although that is a corrosive battle. He shouldn't have really been sat in for that long. As we are going to be seeing, well, I mean, it's still a little bit scary, but I just don't think there's a proper way to fight this, right? Maybe as the hatchery goes down, he can fight with the brood lanes. That actually might not be a terrible idea as the Lings come in for the surround. The Immortals, though, are still just targeting down Ravager after Ravager, and the damage output isn't there to get rid of them very quickly at all. And I mean, that Roach isn't going to last very long. The Ravagers go down as well, and Mana is going to make the defense here on Battle on the Boardwalk, potentially putting Liquid up 2-0 in this best-of-7 all-kill series. All the way up into the main right now as the lair comes in from Mamba. That starts up this drone. I mean, he has to think about where he wants to go. Does he expand to the gold? Does he expand to the natural? I mean, what do you actually do at this stage? Well, you got to expand somewhere, and it looks as though the gold will be the choice. As you do see pros being chrono boosted out of this Nexus still, and the lair on the way up in the main base too. Drone coming all the way down the right-hand side and will be making that hatchery. But again, it's just so late in the game, and there's so much that Mamba has to do here to get back in this. It's going to be really, really, truly difficult to make something effective happen in this in the next few moments. Alright, well, these Zerglings going to be under fire once again, just taking a little bit more damage here. Well, Prism is about halfway done. The lair will be finishing very soon as well here for Mamba. As that lair finishes up, we are going to be seeing the Queen just tagging away at that hallucinated Phoenix a little bit. So, hallucinated Phoenix just being tagged, and we are going to be seeing the gold base coming down to the bottom right-hand side. As you see, a few Lings, a few Ravagers coming up the left still. I mean, Mamba still have some units in aggressive positions. Look at Mana, just with the confidence to start moving across. Does he have a Warp Prism already? I mentioned he does, yeah. I mean, that just gives him so much safety moving across as well, of course, because the Warp Prism can micro so well. And you can see the desperation from Mamba. Throwing down the Spire, dropping Overlord Creep to try and hide it away somewhere it might not be scouted. In fairness, if you're this far behind, it's probably one of the only ways you're going to get back in the game. But, I mean, it just goes to show you how far behind he is. As this Immortal dodges out of the way to not get hit by too many of those battles there. As the Warp Prism starts to do its job, well, this army's going to start moving up this ramp and cleaning on out a whole bunch of these Lings, Queen, and just whatever else is around, really. Here we go in towards the main base, and, well, drones are going to be under fire here in the next few moments. A couple of Immortals firing away at that Queen, so it's taking some damage as well. It goes down. This lair now under fire as well. Some Zerglings from the left-hand side trying to come on in, but just not going to have that much success at all. And this is going to be pretty much it. There's going to be seeing another corrosive battle coming into play, and well, that still is just about going to be it here. We're going to see another few Zealots just on the way out. GG from Mamba, and Mana will take game 2, and Team Liquid play normally, I suppose. So let's do this. Let's see what's going to happen. We have got to the top left-hand side of the map. His team is down 0-2. He was one of the big players to carry them along through the main season. Can he do it now when it perhaps matters the most? So the top left-hand side, our blue Zerg is Denver. And to the lower right-hand side of the map from Team Liquid, the red Protoss player, give it up for Mana. Alright, so game number 3, and Mana is sending double probe across the map. He's started up a forge already. And he is diving and jiving and duking away with this first probe to be able to get this pylon down without it being seen by an overlord at all. Denver with his second overlord going across the maps directly as well. He is perhaps not going to see this cannon rush on the way. So Mana with the cannon rush here in game 3 to change things up. I mean, right now, Romandy Gamer just throwing Zerg after Zerg after Zerg at him. As we're going to be seeing one cannon coming up at the front. And we are just going to be seeing the drone actually comes to scout this. Wow. So the drone's actually going to come to scout this. There's 2 cannons are already on their way, though. Is that going to be, you know, are these drones pulling in going to be enough? Sorry, this is, yeah, these are 2 cannons. There's one more pylon behind the mineral line at the moment, actually. We're going to see the probes are actually going to pick up a drone kill, although he's got himself a little bit blocked in there. One probe will be able to get out still, so far probe for a drone. But the first cannon is going to come up here, and he's going to get another one on the way down. Does Denver just keep on fighting here? Apparently he does, at least to get the other probe. I mean, that's already 3 cannons on the way up to the point where Mana doesn't even feel the need to finish this cannon, this third cannon at least, and he just feels as though he can go with 2. All 2 cannons working their way through this hatchery. 4 drones killed for this so far as well. Denver pulled a lot of workers off the mineral line to do this, and he's going to leave that hatchery up. Maybe looking to bust through this with the brood lanes. I'm not sure what his plan exactly is, because he doesn't have a drone out on the map. It's going to be very difficult to get a drone on the map with these cannons covering the overall front of this base. And so for Denver right here, things are really not going very well at all at the moment. So we're going to see those cannons going to be able to pick away through that hatchery. And the hatchery does go down. Broodlings come on in, and we are going to see those broodlings continuing to drop here. As we do see them. Well, again, they nibble their way through a little bit of the cannon, and there is the Roach-Roar. It's just going to go into Roaches and probably the Ravagers to bile his way out of this situation as another extractor from Denver just on the way up in the main base. So Overlord is on its way as well in the natural expansion. We're just going to be seeing, again, the Roach-Roar and just going to be finishing in a moment or two. So it's going to be finishing here shortly. Again, that last still just on the way up. You're now going to be seeing the cannon just poking its way through that Overlord as well. So Overlord taking a little bit of damage here as we do have this Overlord of Denver coming down in towards the main base. Well, back at home, obviously, Mana's, tech is delayed as well. His gateway is only just finishing up a Zealot. His Cybercore's just now about to finish as well. And as the Cybernetics core finishes, obviously he can throw down Warp Gate and so on, get Stalker out. But before now, he's not really been able to have much tech at all. Obviously, the benefit of that is that he's kept the Zerg play on just one base, while his own expansion is getting very close to finishing here. I mean, Denver throws down the lair, right? And you got to think, well, what are his options here? I mean, you got to start thinking, well, perhaps it's going to be a Nidus network. He only has like a couple of Ravagers at the moment. It's not a lot, as you are going to be seeing the couple of Corrosive Vials coming down again. And he's going to be able to break his way through this in a moment or so as that robotics facility comes down in the main base of Mana. So that is coming down, that is on the way up. As you still see another probe just up at the top side, just waiting to see what might be happening next. Spire on the way down now as well behind this mineral line for Denver. So getting this next sort of wave of tech up here as he doesn't power that cannon. And so he can clean this up to take his hatchery. So just going straight into the Spire, how interesting. For Robo and a Twilight on the way up from Mana, he already has the Forge to build cannons. He can go into +1. If he went into Blink here, this could just be game ending because the mutas are a good way to get back in the game. But obviously if someone has Blink up already, that's just going to really deny how much you can get done with those Mutalisks. At this stage as well, I think Mana's just got to be very aware of what do you do as Denver in this position. Well, I think you have to expect him to at least go up to a lair, right? Which is probably why he's getting out of Robo so quickly for the Immortal. Because that's going to keep him very safe against a counter Roach attack, a Nidus network, etc. But then what do you have beyond that? Beyond that, I guess you have something like, what else comes off on the lair? Well, a very fast Hydra Den. Immortal works against that. I guess the Spire is the one thing that Mana isn't maybe immediately committing to or dealing with. And there's a couple of Ravagers going to move forwards, but it's only a couple, so they're just going to try and battle for some damage here. I mean, hey, they'll get themselves a Zealot and a Sentry if Mana isn't careful, but he does pull it back in time. I was going to see this game is still continuing to take a little bit more damage as the meters continue to come on up right now. So 4 meters on the way. I mean, the amount of defense from Mana against meters is very limited. But can these meters get 15 worker kills to bring Denver back into this? Because that's what he needs right now. 15 workers to even up the worker count. It's going to be very difficult. I mean, in the main base, there's definitely some exposed areas. There's no shield battery here or anything. I mean, I guess one of the big things is he's got a lair up, so actually with the lair, he will not be in too much of a trouble when it comes to the DTs. You can just morph in an overseer against them. As we are going to be seeing these Mulisks coming down the left-hand side and looking to see what else they can do. So looking to get in towards that main hallucinated Phoenix going across the map. Maybe a little late. Maybe could have seen us a bit more. I mean, he guess he saw these Ravagers at least though, so he comes out and he will get 1 kill. And with steps forwards, he's actually going to get 2 kills. It seals. Oh, the second Immortal didn't fire a second time right there, and so the Ravager, well, gets to the Watchtower and then will get taken down anyways. Well, just as the Mutas coming towards the main base, I mean, immediately shield batteries start to build up here, and that's something which, well, you know, Denver has to spend time targeting down. There's a Warp Prism on the way across the map, though. I mean, those DTs are going to warp in a moment or two, because we do have Archon warping in back at home. That's kind of a big deal. This main base under some fire, but this many Mutas probably can't fight against an Archon. It's one of the things about Denver's position, even if the Mutas start to do something, they're not in a good number to actually do anything too useful at all. He's going to try and get this pile. That would probably be the biggest thing he could get right here, and he does get it. Empowers a couple of those gateways. But now the Immortals came across the map, and DT is warping in as well. And this is not looking too pretty at all, as the Immortals will just micro against this. I mean, they can just drop back down over here as well and continue to help defend against the Zerglings as all damage being done. He's going to target the Spire too. I mean, that's great. Stop the number of Mutas from rising up, because the Mutas are the biggest threat for mana on the map right now. Spire goes down. We're going to be seeing the DT lifted up, and he's just going to drop on the other side of the Rotron. He does, where it's very safe from the Lings, etc. And these Immortals are going to survive long enough to get back on towards the mineral line. They're going to actually try and recall. Oh my god, that's so sick! Lifts the Prism into... Oh, no way! He gets away with it! That was so sick, because the Immortals, if he recalls them alone, get targeted down before they recall. The Prism is just able to sneak out of there in time. What a play by Mana, escaping with that Warp Prism and the recall. Beautifully done to keep 2 Immortals alive when really it looked as though they were all but dead. Wow, that was fantastic. Really getting the absolute maximum damage out of those as he could have done as well. Now we see Stalkers, a Sentry, an Archon. Everything here realistically is going to be enough to turn these Mutas away. Another Archon as well. And Denver has to be starting to realize, like, hey, this is not really going my way at all. There's one low health Muta here. I'm not sure why it's coming back in, because that's risky. Maybe because, I guess, there isn't that much anti-air still. Needs another Archon, or maybe needs to get this Archon down to the shield battery. That would work. Loses the Warp Prism, so loses micro potential. Denver is slowly catching back up in workers as he just more down ship, but those Mutas are clumped up and the Archon gets some damage onto them. Oh my god, they're going to turn around again. No, Denver. I mean, he kills the Archon, but he loses some Mutas in the process, and there's another Archon on the low ground. Denver tries to go up into a third hatchery now, as you will see those 2 Stalkers continuing to chase away over to the left-hand side. Charge still coming up on the Twilight Council as we see Muscular Augments on the way on a Hydra Sten. Ling Speed's on the way up and a few more Hydras continue to come through as well. Charge being chrono boosted out as we do see the Mutas trying to come in once again, and one of the probes taking a little bit of damage there for the moment. 2 free workers getting picked off here, 4, 5. A lot of damage being done by these Mutas. That's just going to see the couple of Stalkers coming in and chasing those Mutas away. Cannon is going to be in position as that Stalker is going to be able to catch at least one of the Mutas if he target fires, which he does. And so Mana gets a Muta, and I mean, what's there going to be at home to defend? I mean, he's getting Hydras up Denver. He's going to have a few Hydras, but enough? I mean, Charge is about to finish up. There's a potential warp in some more DTs for Archons here. And this is going to be... And this army just continue to push in towards this hatchery, and that's going to be, well, a few more results warping in. Charge is done in the next few seconds, and that really will just help to get rid of some of these Hydras a bit faster. But honestly, I mean, the Archons alone right now are doing a great job, and DT's helping in this hatchery as well. The Archons at the back get rid of the Mutalisks, and even just getting rid of the Mutas here and trading out with everything else is going to be great. But he's just going to have an army to keep on pushing through, and Mana looks unstoppable right now. There's Mana who won back in Season 4 for the Team Liquid. He came in the 6th game to take down Bling for Dignitas Dead Pixels. And he was able to fight back, and he was able to take it and take that 6th game and put Team Liquid as champions of the Season 4 of the Team League. And as you're going to see, the Sentry picks up just nicely there, and while Archon's going to keep on chasing those Hydras down. So I'll take a little bit more damage, just get picked off, and again, those Lings and Hydras still chasing from the top side here. As you're going to see a little bit of juggling on this army, keeping those units pushed away. Well, at this stage, what do we do next? I mean, another shield battery coming up, a third Nexus coming in. It's one of those games that really has been decided, but we're just going through the etiquette of, you know, allowing Denver to try everything he feels he has before the game does conclude. A few Zealots coming in towards those Zerglings here, but they're not able to do too much. Lurker down on the way. I mean, if he actually got into Lurkers, yeah, they're kind of like the Mutas. Like, they're great unit to get back into the game or to extend games out where you can't really fight, but it gives you a way to kind of fight by, well, just sitting super defensively to the point where your opponent's not going to want to attack you or anything. Do you see this army going to come in right now? I mean, Denver was just going to go for this one last attack, it seems, but I mean, you can just see how it's going. I don't even need to tell you guys. It's very one-sided in favor of mana, unsurprisingly, with how this game has gone. We'll start off with that cannon rush, and Denver was put behind from there, and you know, he gave it a good fight. I think, you know, the Overseers were probably, the Mutalisks were probably one of the best ways he could have got back into the game, undone something, and in fairness, he was starting to get a fair amount done. He was starting to pick off some probes, and he was slowing down the army, and he was stopping mana from just gathering everything together and just pew pew pew, like attack, 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 you know? As you're going to see, there's Immortals, a couple of Stalkers, a couple of Archons coming down to the south, and you're going to see those units turning around. It's going to be a game being called. Denver is going to be typing out, and Team Liquid are on match point. Number 3 of this best of 7 all-kill series, and we're going into Abyssal Reef. To the bottom right-hand side of the map, our Blue Zerg from ENCE Esports, but representing Romandy Gaming here today in the Team League Season 7 semi-finals. It is Serral. To the top left-hand side, the red Protoss player from Team Liquid. It is Mana. Well, can Mana complete the all-kill? He's done some serious work so far against the Romandy roster. He's put them in prime position because just to give you guys a bit of info on how the league works and stuff as well. So again, the loser picks the map and the loser picks the player. So if you start up 3-0, the issue that becomes for Romandy Gaming is now Liquid have 3 maps remaining. And those 3 maps, they can pick and choose who plays on which map against Serral. So they can say, well, hey, you know, let's put TLO on Blackpink and let him do this, or we'll put Thermal on, I don't know, whichever map hasn't been played, Neon Violet Square, and let him do that. You know, you can basically play out the games right now. You know, you can basically say, well, okay, we're going to let TLO do something crazy, creative, and cheesy, and he can use up one of the maps Snute and Thermal don't want to play on, for example. And so it gives you kind of so much freedom now as Team Liquid, because even if Mana loses here, you've got 3 chances to take down Serral. You know, it's pretty much, you know, Mana has done everything to really put Liquid into the best possible position to advance here. Because Serral is not going to be an easy opponent. He's not going to be an easy player to get past. So let's see how this is going to go. Alright, you see just the Overlord just coming up towards the top side. We do see the Stargate currently on the way down in the main base. So Mana just set up very similarly to how he set up a Galea on here in his first series against Hate Me. As you just see those couple of Lings just going to chase that probe down and pick up that kill. Why is Serral playing for Romandy? Because they picked him up as a mercenary. I mean, if you want more specifics as to why he decided to do it, then you can ask Serral, I guess. But it's in the rules that you're allowed to have a mercenary in the team, especially if your team is small enough to only have 4-ish or 4-ish around active players. So it's a rule in the league, and they are utilizing this. League is utilizing the rules, obviously, as part of being able to play and stuff like that. So we are going to be seeing this Oracle on the way out, being chrono boosted at the moment out of this Stargate. As you're going to be seeing the few Lings just coming out onto the map here. Serral not doing anything too crazy just yet, as we see Ling speed is about to complete. So that's going to finish up now, and we are going to see the hatchery coming up on this third base. So hatchery coming up right here. As you do see, this depth from mana is going to be shading away up the right-hand side, so that's going to be starting to escape out. And we'll be coming all the way up top as we see the Oracle from mana going to come all the way down the left-hand side as well. And we do just see the Rotoron is continuing coming up, so Rotoron going to be continuing coming through. Another Extractor being taken on the natural as well. And the third hatchery now finished up. Well, Serral already has 2 queens in position to push this Oracle away, so it gets pushed back pretty much immediately here. As we do now see the Robotics Facility from mana on the way in the natural expansion as well. The probe gets chased down as a few lings get in. That's annoying. I mean, already one probe lost. You'll turn to fight with the rest of the probes. Doesn't micro to keep that low health probe alive, but Serral's back on it. Serral is so persistent with these Zerglings and just so annoying in general. As you will see, another ling taken down. And obviously with the Robo, this does not look as though Mana wants to play aggressive and all in, like he did in the previous game. That was back on Ascension to Io against Hate Me. And the 2 Oracles coming through the south side, and just going to be seeing the Evolution Chamber, going to be about halfway done in the main. As you see, the Oracle's going to get to work on the Queen, but with the Spore there, it's just not really a viable kind of thing to actually keep on fighting, is it? Well, okay, he gets the kill, I guess, so kill is a kill as he dives in and out for a couple of drones now, just on the edge of that Spore Crawler range. Queen's, though, ready to catch the Oracles on the exit. He target fires down the lower health one. And so Mana in a little bit of trouble now with his Oracles. I mean, he got a Queen, but was that really worth it? As he comes down to this bottom right-hand side, and he will just be able to get away. He's a little bit greedy to try and get out so soon, but he is going to get out after taking a few more hits. Now the third Nexus is on the way up. Robo Bay is on the way up in the main base at the moment. The Forge about to finish up as well here. Roach speed and +1 missiles on the way for Serral. As we do see him just going in towards the Roaches here early on. Going to be seeing Zerglings moving through the center of the map, and we're just going to be seeing the, well, again, +1 missiles continue to come on through as well here. Hydra's Den now dropping down, so just playing that Roach Hydra style. The Robo Bay up, obviously Mana looking towards Colossus at some point. And some Adepts going to shade in towards this natural mineral line. They need to start getting some damage done to make up for their lives, because they are not getting out of here. And they're going to get 3 workers, 4. That seems to be about it. Serral transfuses a drone to make sure it won't go down as well. The Oracle's still just looking around, I guess, a Revelation to tag these units, keep a track of where they are. So the Step actually gets over to the side and will just not quite get one more drone as Serral makes it a Spore Crawler just in time, then decides to make it in towards an Extractor, so just taking extra gases here. There's actually Mana rebuilding another Oracle, just looking to see what else is happening, moving down towards the south side of the map. Look at then on the way up in the main base is going to be seeing these Roaches from Serral. They're starting to come out in towards the center of the map as well here. So Roaches through running through the middle of Robo Facility. A second one now on the way up as well in the natural expansion. As you do just see a lot of these Roaches coming up the left-hand side. Stalker fighting against this Overseer. We are going to be seeing Colossi on the way out as well, so they're starting to be produced on this natural. I mean, Serral with a little bit of an attack towards the third base, but hey, there's just a few Immortals around, and oh, you know what? I love how Mana's backing away, because now he can come in and maybe drop the Force Fields to catch this army. Not quite there. Serral was very quick to respond in the end. I thought by backing away, Serral might come further forwards, and then Mana can be like, haha, I do have units. But it didn't quite happen, as we see the Lurgan Infestation Pit coming down, and this is just building up into one very long game here right away, so getting set up into this. You've seen the Oracle still looking around for a little bit more damage. Hallucinated Phoenix is picking up what's going on as well. Just information here for these Oracles. Just keeping track of what is the tech choices. Where is Serral at in terms of building lurkers, etc. And well, the answer is he's starting to get them. I don't think Mana can really do much. Extended Thermal Lances and finish. He's pushing out onto the map. Kind of a little bit risky. I wonder if he just feels as though right now is kind of a weak moment for Serral where he can get a little bit of something done. It's going to be seeing the units coming in again. The Queen going to get caught right there. As we're just going to be seeing a couple of Creep Tumors getting picked away at. Nice Force Fields to pick a few Roaches off. Obviously, they're pretty much just free pickups at this stage. And, well, 2 Colossi up. I mean, the 6 Lurkers are initially coming in. You know, we've seen the Hallucinated Phoenix will see those Lurkers, and so Mana is very aware of what he's pushing into here and has to be, again, so careful. Without a Warp Prism especially, he can't just reinforce this army on the go. So he has to make sure he's got definitely enough to kind of make this happen, as we do see the Stalkers, the Sentries, and the Immortals just coming back up the left-hand side, and looks as though the Immortals just going to continue to tag their way through the rocks. Rocks will go down, and we are going to be seeing 7 probes being picked off as well. +2 missile attack and +1 carapace for Serral. Continue to come on through. We are just going to be seeing that charge upgrade is about halfway done as well. Let's continue to set up in towards this here. Is going to be seeing the, well, the real army itself. Whoa, he's actually going to grab a whole bunch of Stalkers. I don't even know why they were out there. I wasn't expecting the fight to happen myself. I'm going to see a few force fields coming down so you can pick up a few more units at the front. Man, Serral is almost maxed out in mana at 130 supply. How much did he lose there? It wasn't too bad. Just a handful of Stalkers. Those Adepts were lost earlier. The Zealots were lost a bit earlier. So it's just 4 Stalkers or so, but you really need everything you can get at this sort of stage of the game. And what's interesting is that Mana only ever built 2 Colossus, and from there he's actually moved back in towards extra kind of just Immortal production. Mana going to come up this way, but that gives Serral the opportunity perhaps to run on down this south side. Mana's going to have to respond to this in some way, because those Lurkers are starting to get into position. And this Oracle, does he have energy for Revelation? Not just yet. He's actually recalling. Okay, that's why he does have energy for Revelation. He recalls up to the high ground here to try and push in from this position so he doesn't get fully surrounded. It's actually a smart little maneuver. You might really think, well, why did he just recall? Well, again, like, if he engages from here, he's going to get fully surrounded, and that's an issue. As it stands right now, he might be losing this 4th Nexus, but he is going to defend the front of the Natural, and, well, he does an okay job at it as well. Like, he doesn't really lose much beyond the Nexus and a few Zealots, which actually just accidentally wandered in. It's just so difficult to fight those Lurkers. Digging Claws coming in as well off of the Hive Tech as 5 more Lurkers start to build here at the moment. Just going to be seeing the Colossi fighting from a distance. Immortal's going to come in, and Serral's not going to commit into this just yet. He's going to let a lot of his Lurkers go down before Hives and Roaches start to join the fight. And now Mana backs away, and as Mana backs away, this looks very good for him. Lurkers, though, the extra ones have just finished morphing, and that's going to be a big deal. A High Templar auto-attack in here doesn't have the Storm upgrade just yet, as all the Lurkers don't manage to grab too much more damage towards the end there. They still tag a few more of those Zealots, and is it just detection? Is that what we're missing right now? Where's that Oracle? Where's the Revelation? It is just sat to the right-hand side, so it can revelate, if that's what he's... I mean, he's got the Observer, so he does have detection. It's not like he just can't see this army. And that's going to be seeing the Lurkers just slowly pushing their way further and further forwards into more just abusive positions. And at some point, Mana just has to go for this here. The Revelation will come down just in case the Observer dies throughout this. The Archons to the left are doing a good job. The Lurkers are on their own now. The Reinforcing Hydras are not here just yet. And that was maybe Mana's best chance to break through, but it doesn't look as though it's going to be enough. And Serral will put Romandy Gaming onto the scoreboard at least, as he's going to be taking down Mana here in this game 4, pushing through. The Colossus have fallen. Mana really played this out very well. There's going to be GG's though, and Serral will again get to the bottom right-hand side. Our Blue Zerg player coming in from Team Liquid. They are still on match point, and they still have Snoot and Thermal behind if they need them. They're still in a great position in this semi-final clan war. It is the bottom right-hand side, TLO. He's going up against the red Zerg player to the top left-hand side, representing Romandy Gaming. In the team league, it is Serral. Obviously makes them a pretty freaking terrifying team. Interested to see just how they do. Just how they do. Alright, so getting this going, looking to see what's going to be happening here. Some overflows just moving through the center of the map earlier. Is going to be already from TLO something a little bit cheeky, which is the triple hatch before pool, and one of those hatcheries is on the gold base. So this is TLO already just putting himself in a position which is like, hey, look at me. I'm you know, just look at me, just looking to take a gold base, and again, I mean, this could give him the advantage from the get-go he needs, maybe to kind of catch Serral off guard and to take him down. I mean, you got to remember that, you know, on these maps, and you know, the fact that players can pick the maps, TLO gets to pick this map, and it's kind of just a best of one here. And in a best of one, anything can really happen, and that's what is just so terrifying. so often in this kind of Team League format. As we do see Ling speed on the way from both players. Ling's on the way out from Serral here. As we're going to be seeing TLO with the Ling speed on the way up, a couple of Queens on the way out, some more Zerglings, a couple of drones continue to come out as well. And it's going to be seen now the third hatchery of Serral coming down on the low ground. Just continue to expand outwards at the moment. Baneling nest coming down in the back of the main base here as well. For both players, actually, the Baneling nest on the gold base here for TLO. Does Serral know about this at all? He did. He saw the creep spread, so he actually checked the gold pretty early in the game. And he obviously checks the creep spread up here as well, so he knows the kind of build that TLO went for. And Serral's actually only on 18 drones, so it's actually Serral that's going to be getting a little bit more aggressive here than TLO. I mean, TLO's making units too. What's actually terrifying is that Serral doesn't do enough with these few Lings. Well, he's going to be in some real trouble, right? Because he's already going to... I mean, let's look at the income right now. TLO is starting to really cascade away into an advantage at the moment. A huge advantage at that. Serral added a couple more drones, but now he is making Banes. Now he is getting aggressive. Spinecrawler coming up towards the gold base. A Queen tucked in behind. I love that Queen position, I have to say. While those first Banes morphing in, they're not safe just yet, as TLO is just about to get Ling speed up. Drones are trying to protect some Banelings as well. I mean, some of them are going to get to finish here, these Banes. So they are going to get to start going off and becoming useful. He's going to find himself a couple of Banes apiece there. The Spinecrawler goes down. There's still some Banes left over for Serral. TLO has 3 hatcheries to work from. I mean, so does Serral, I guess. TLO losing 4 drones, and there's still 6 workers ahead. And still has this gold base to fall back to, as well as drones on either side. Banes on either side are going off. Not really in the favor of one player over the other. And TLO, I think, has pushed this away with a worker lead. Serral's the one that's having to make workers at the moment, while also getting ready to defend, because TLO is counter-attacking. Across the map he goes, and TLO has quite a bit of gas to move in those Banes. I love the position of those Banes in this little area here, because it does just choke them up, and it stops them from being attacked so easily and fully surrounded to pick them off. Serral with more Ling Bane getting set up as he pulls away to the left-hand side. TLO is responding, but maybe doesn't realize just how many units there are there. He does need some sort of protection on this gold base. As one Bane goes down for one Ling, I'm not sure whose Bane that was, honestly, just yet. As those Zerglings continue to come in from TLO and forcing Serral back away to the left-hand side. More Lings up to the top as we're going to be seeing the Bane lane in the front is looking to maybe try and get some damage done. A couple of Banes for a couple of Banes so far. And you get actually a Bane onto those 3 Banelings. That's really nice, because now they're lower health and more easily targeted as the game continues. TLO is still droning and still holding a worker lead and a gold base advantage, which is pretty sick. Some more Lings coming down the left-hand side, and we are going to be seeing those few Banelings of TLO coming in again. Serral does see it coming. When Serral goes in, he gets 3 Banes for 3 Banes again, I think, if I'm not mistaken. Another Bane of TLO doesn't do too much, though, as TLO finds himself a drone. No, he target-fired an egg. He could have had a drone. Small little miss micro there, as we're going to be seeing those units continuing back down the south side. TLO has to pull drones away from the gold base, though, as a lot of Lings coming streaming through. I mean, Bane's on the way up, getting ready to go. Reinforcing Lings are arriving. TLO kept those drones alive, and that's very important here in all of this. And Serral is going to find himself a way up and out, up the right-hand side. Actually coming in to fight once again here. More of those Lings continuing to fall, and TLO is still controlling this game with the worker lead. He's had the income lead throughout so far. As we're going to be seeing those Zerglings continue to gather together, turn back around. He is going to grab a whole chunk of those. Look at that from Serral. He loses a bunch of Zerglings here. TLO with a 14 worker lead, making roaches. This is starting to get scary if you are a fan of Serral right now. Alright, well, more Lings coming up to the top side here, looking to see what's going on. It's going to be seeing the Baneling. Or 2 moving on over. I mean, again, the drones just have to be a little bit careful. Evacuating early. There's a lot of Lings from TLO onto just a couple of Banes, but now he's getting roaches out, so the Ling Bane micro becomes less of a thing. And it becomes more about the, well, just kind of number of units and positioning of fights. Drones in this mineral line again in a little bit of trouble. Queen is going to be able to tuck itself away nicely with Banes to defend it. Ling is going across the map, but not finding the opportunity to do too much here. Serral with some Lings on the high ground could look to try and run on in towards this mineral line once again in the near future. More Lings running up the right. We're seeing Evo Chamber about to finish up from both players here, enabling them to go into +1 missiles. TLO already has the lair about halfway done. That's something Serral does not have. He needs to remember his +1 missiles, though, and if TLO can spend his money as well, his army supply would be doing pretty darn good. He's just not spending all of the money which he has, and he does have the lava, right? Unless he doesn't want to build more roaches, and instead he wants to go into a Spire and play Middleist from here. Well, that would be a very interesting way to go about things, as TLO is set up defensively on both sides of the map. Obviously, one of the big weaknesses of having this gold base is the fact that it becomes very difficult to defend over the course of a game, but it does mine out a lot faster. TLO just taking his gas on it. He'll probably want to take his catchery over here sooner rather than later, simply because of the fact that we're in this sort of scenario where this gold base will mine out pretty quick. Now TLO, equalish army supply. He did start his +1. He does have roach speed coming through. There's Ravager in a little bit of trouble. Cyril is a little bit kind of unsure as to whether he wanted to really commit into this. And as we are going to be seeing 9 drones going down, though, the Banes came in. And TLO, for the first time in this game, is going to drop down in work count. And that's going to hurt him there quite heavily. You can see resources lost. Cyril's just traded better throughout to make up for that gold base, being able to take slightly better fights, etc. TLO will need to defend those Zerlings as well, which he actually does with a lot of ease. No real issue there at all. And TLO only 4 workers behind, and we're just well and truly off and away in towards this roach phase of the game now. +1 missiles will not be too far away from either player. Cyril's got his lair queued up nicely to start +2. TLO will have the faster roach speed, but can he do anything with it? Probably not. As we are going to be seeing, well, 4 factory on the way up from TLO. As we mentioned, he has to take that a bit faster than Cyril does, because that gold base does just mine out a little bit faster than Cyril's third base will mine out. So that's something important to keep note of. Is Cyril getting supply blocked here slightly? I think some Ravagers picking themselves off. I can't even see Ravagers at TLO though. There they are. Did just pick themselves off an Overlord there. I'm not going too crazy, as we are going to be seeing those units then gathering over to the left and going to find themselves a couple of Zergling kills. Now Cyril, well, he does start +2 missile upgrade with a bit of an advantage. TLO has to be careful. He's pushing forwards, and it's very easy for him to feel as though he's got the advantage in this game, because I feel as though, you know, you look at this, you're like, well, I have been ahead in workers throughout, and, you know, I feel as though I've traded pretty well, but Cyril actually did trade better so far. Now TLO, if he gets this gold base and just backs away, I think that'd be pretty great for him. Back away right now, you know, you've still got roach speed. Cyril can't really push into you because of the roach speed. Denying Cyril the gold base. Obviously, the fact that you've already had the gold and Cyril hasn't means that if Cyril does eventually get the gold base up, becomes a much more kind of confusing game for you once again, because then he's going to have a bit of an eco advantage all the way through this as well. As right now here, 20 minutes in, and we are dead even in terms of worker count, army supply, and upgrades. Just going to take the moment as well to say thank you to Rifkin for the host from his own channel and from Base Trade. Thank you very much, appreciate it. And hello everyone who's just joining us in the base raids. How you guys doing? You're watching the Team League semi-finals here, Season 7. Team Liquid against Romandy Gaming. If you're a bit confused as to why Cyril is playing, Cyril is Romandy Gaming's mercenary player. They can pick one player to be their mercenary, and that was their pick for this season. Just going to see those roaches going over to the right-hand side a little bit here. A lot of roach Ravager over to the left. Continue to push on down. I mean, actually, this is TLO completely out of position to deal with this on the right-hand side of the map, but so ready to deal with this on the left. But again, not being in position on the right is going to hurt him a lot. He just has no vision up here somehow. As he starts to push forwards, a few corrosive bounds do land a little bit as TLO pushing on into this, maybe even just feeling as though, well, hey, you've sent a lot of units over there to attack me. This is maybe my opportunity. TLO was looking okay in this, but now he has to back away. He's going to start spreading out to fight again. He has some Hydras mixed into it here. He's just got so many units running after those roaches that have entered his main base and his natural expansion. And that's going to hurt a lot as we're going to see those units spreading out a bit. Of a better concave right now from TLO. That will go a long way for him. He's actually trying to get Bane speed up, which is an intriguing choice, because there isn't exactly like a commitment to Hydralisk or anything here from Cyril. TLO losing out a little bit. He doesn't have +2 for this fight, just missing out on the +1 a little bit. Delayed his +2, and that's hurting him. And oh my god, Hydra's dying to the corrosive biles. TLO, he's just so eager to get rid of some of those roaches. Look how low health so many of them are. Even though the army supplies are actually very similar here, TLO would have an advantage in a fight because of just how low some of those roaches are. Pushing across now, he's going to get himself another Overlord. I wonder if TLO can make something happen. His own +2 is now done. It's not an easy position to fight into, though, with these kind of blockers in the center of the map. So if the Lurker didn't about to finish, that will make TLO's life a lot more difficult, because how do you fight against those Lurkers without Lurkers of your own? Well, I guess that really would be the question. And we've seen the Overlord getting picked off here once again by those Hydras. I was just going to see a few more Banes coming in, and just going to be seeing again this Overlord getting pushed away over to the left-hand side here. Gonna get picked off once more. We're going to be seeing the Roaches, the Ravagers continuing to gather up, and well, we're going to be seeing another Corrosive Ballitude coming down, continue to push on up here at the moment. We're going to be seeing the Roaches and Ravagers still pushing forwards. I mean, the hatchery goes down. Can Tielo fight this? He's got a few more Banes coming in. He actually got Bane speed to finish, which is hugely impressive considering how low that Baneland nest was before. And you know what? So much of Serral's army is in the orange health. He's losing a lot of drones as well from this high ground position, and Tielo is taking a supply lead. He needs to fight with everything right now, though. A few more Banes going off. The problem is he only has Hydras, and Hydras die very quickly, but maybe not quickly enough. Tielo! Oh my god, he did it! He took down Serral.